Welcome, everyone. So, just a note, there'll be a recording in your inbox tomorrow morning for the weekend to prepare for the third Sunday of Advent, the theme is joy. And I thought a good lead into that theme of joy and a nice way to bring our time to a close would be to let ourselves be inspired by the person and event of John the Baptist. So let me read for you, a passage from Matthew chapter 3. In those days, John the Baptist came preaching in the wilderness of Judea and said, "Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. For this is he who was spoken of by the prophet Isaiah, saying, the voice of one crying in the wilderness, prepare the way of the Lord. Make straight his paths." Now John himself was clothed in camel's hair, with a leather belt around his waist, and his food was locusts and wild honey. Then Jerusalem, all Judea, and all of the region around the Jordan went out to him and were baptized by him in the Jordan, confessing their sins. If you look at the iconography of John, you will see that he is portrayed as something of a wild man. Now, there are conjectures that he was part of the Essenes and a few other mystical movements of spirituality, and that would not be surprising at all, right? But what you get in the iconography, and even here with the phrase that he came preaching in the wilderness. So you've got other passages, he comes out of the wilderness, he comes into the wilderness. So that word wilderness is a very important word for what he represents. And he represents preparation, which is something that Advent is all about. Advent is about coming into a new place of trust and surrender within ourselves to be ready for new birth, to be ready, to be ready, to even facilitate the process. And so, with that, you get John as this event of preparation. Prepare the way of the Lord. Prepare the way of the Lord. I mean, that's one of the big mantras of Advent coming into Christmas. Prepare the way of the Lord. And you've got connected with him the word wilderness. And in the iconography, you get his hair is like tousled a little bit, and you can see he looks like he's windblown. He and Elijah look similar, windblown. So, what are we talking about when we talk about wilderness? And if John was considered a great person, and even Jesus said there's no greater man on earth, what does this represent to us about our spirituality? I would say it is a call to return to our own wild nature, that our essential nature has a quality that is wild, and that the path of getting there is oftentimes through a wilderness, through you get the sense of a density and of a not knowing where to go, and a certain kind of uncultivated path. So I looked up wild in etymology online, which I always like to do. And the word comes from Old English, Old Saxon, Old Norse, Old Frisian, Old Dutch, and Old High German and Gothic. So you get all in that region of the world is where we get the word. And its main meanings are this: in the natural state, uncultivated, untamed, undomesticated, uncontrolled. So, isn't that interesting that the word natural would be pitted as not being compatible with these four other words: to cultivate, to domesticate, to tame, to control. Natural, cultivate, tame, domesticate, control. Get the sense of that. And so wild is coming into this natural state that is freed of these four other qualities that are a strong part of life, especially in what we might call civilized life, where we have social structure, where we have all sorts of structures that we fit in. And in a way, cultivation, taming, domestication, control, in a way, these can be very positive qualities because they allow us to have a certain containment and a focus so that we can develop our minds and our hearts and our bodies. So that I don't want to toss those words out as though situated next to natural, they're all bad. But what I believe John represents to us, and my invitation for us today, is to take a look and see the way, do an inquiry into the way that we have become enculturated, that we have become tamed in a way that's limiting our freedom, that we have become domesticated in a way that leads us to fear the unknown, that we have become controlled in a way that we place security in things other than the essential nature of ourselves and God. John gives us that opportunity to ask those kinds of questions. And really, he was standing up in a way against the authorities because the authorities were bringing about slavery. Even if it wasn't formal slavery, the attitude was one of creating a controlled environment for the sake of power and for the sake of control. So, just to shine little light on these four words, to cultivate has origins that point to these meanings: raise or till, inhabit, frequent, respect, tend, and guard. Tame has these connotations: subjection, docile, domesticated. Domesticate, to dwell in a house, to bring under control. And control, to verify, to regulate. To contra means to stand against, and rotulos is a wheel. The word control was originally used as a way of working with some of the systems, not with people. To dominate and to direct. And in the best sense of the word, controlling is directing our attention, directing ourselves towards a good end. So the question then is as you prepare for new life, what are ways that you are enculturated that bind you? What are ways that you are tamed that limits your potential and freedom? What are the ways that you are domesticated, that you lean into belonging in a way that keeps you from true realization? And what are ways that you are controlling or controlled in a way that cuts you off from the wild nature? I'm sure that you are probably familiar with Women Who Run with the Wolves. And part of her introduction, Clarissa's introduction, points to the imperative that we recover our wild nature. Now, in one of the passages, she refers to the yang feminine within all of us, whether you identify gender masculine, feminine, anywhere else. But this yang feminine is the Kali energy, is the uh, wild woman energy that speaks a prophetic word but is unpleasant to look at or unpleasant to digest. The look at part is just to represent the digesting. Where have we pushed it down? Where have we relegated it, as she says, to the lowest realms of the psyche? And then how can we liberate it? How can we liberate it? How can you prepare yourself today to unleash the wild nature of your own being? So to aid us in that, we're going to do something that I think we've done this way before. I think very simple. We're going to do a chakra meditation, and we're going to work with color. So as you know, every vibrational um, essence, everything that's got a vibration to it, vibrates to a certain frequency. And every frequency hits somewhere on a color chart if you were to look at it with the right equipment. And as we grow in our ability to be subtle energy sensitive, sometimes we see color. Color is a way that we're given an understanding of the energy that's going on. So color, evoking color in a meditation practice, can be really helpful in washing our subtle energy so that we return to our essential nature, and bolstering or magnifying that energy. The chakras, as you know, the major ones, and there are more than 7, they carry certain belief systems with them. And we are enculturated and we are tamed. We are certainly domesticated to a certain degree, but our chakra systems that contain those belief systems that kind of hold us intact also contain the seeds of the freedom that we're called to, that John the Baptist represents by his being and calls us to. So, to that end, we will do just kind of a little enlivening and refreshing. Well, I invite you to close your eyes. Let's start by becoming aware of our bodies. Become aware of your body. Notice how the physical body is feeling today. Notice where there's flow of energy. Notice where there's contraction. Now, in this awareness of the whole of who and what you are, bring your focus to the base of your spine, the root chakra that extends like a cyclone down from the spine, tapping into the energy of creation, earth, galaxy, universe. With a focus on the base of the spine, imagine or sense the color red, where this chakra vibrates to that color. And if you can, open the chakra and visualize red flowing through all parts of this part of your body, this part that is you. And continue with this visualization to see your whole self being washed in red, the room that you're in being all red. Everything is vibrating the frequency of red. And in this visualization, healing light is releasing misconceptions and limiting beliefs. And now move the focus up to about 3 inches below the belly button and focus on the sacral chakra with its vortex of energy moving out the front, the feeling center, and out the back, the will center. Bring your focus there. The seat of where beliefs around power and relationship, sex, money, all these things that are relational in our world. And visualize the color orange, magnifying within the chakra, healing trauma, yours and the collective, enlivening new beliefs. Bring the visualization to wash bright, brilliant orange through your whole being, your body, and filling the room where you sit. And move the focus up to about 2 to 3 inches above the belly button, the solar plexus, the seat of your identity. And visualize the chakra with its vortex moving out the front, the feeling centers, and out the back, the will centers. Become aware of the color yellow, golden, clear, clean, bright yellow. and visualize this yellow moving through the chakra, healing misconceptions of you to you, and this yellow washing through the body, through your being, and filling the entire room. Moving the focus up to the heart and the heart chakra, and visualizing a vortex moving out the front and out the back. And the color, the frequency is emerald green. Allow this frequency to wash through to heal, be a balm to the sorrows and the beating that the heart takes when it is open. And allow this emerald green to flood through your whole physical body, your energetic bodies, and out into the room. And move the focus up to the throat chakra. And visualize the vortex moving out the front, the feeling centers, and out the back, the will centers. Become attuned to the frequency that is a crystal blue, like a mountain stream, flooding the chakras, repairing the eons of limited beliefs that cap us from using our voice. And allow the blue to magnify the freedom and audacity and wildness in using our voice. And allow this blue to flood the physical body, your subtle energy bodies, and to fill the room. And move the focus up to the third eye, the front of the vortex being in the center of the forehead, the feeling center and the back of the vortex being just below the occipital ridge of the skull. And visualize the color, the frequency of an indigo blue, a deep blue like the night sky with all its mystery and vastness. Allow this frequency to wash through the chakra, opening you to see things as they truly are, to discover the nature of things. And allow this frequency of indigo blue to wash through your body, your subtle energy body, and to fill the room where you sit. And then move the focus up to the crown chakra. Vortex extending upward through the transpersonal point into the universal energy, if you will. And visualize any spectrum of light. White that holds all. Purple is oftentimes the frequency of this chakra. And allow it to flood through so that you may be open to the inspiration of the moment and healed of ways you might hold yourself back. Allow this frequency to move through the physical body, your subtle energy, and to fill the room. In this washing, we begin to end our short contemplative practice. But before you open your eyes, let me read this radiant sutra to you. Sutra 32. The senses declare an outrageous world. Sounds and scents, ravishing colors and shapes, ever-changing skies, iridescent reflections. All these beautiful surfaces decorating vibrant emptiness. The God of love is courting you, light as a feather. Every perception is an invitation into revelation. Hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting, touching, ways of knowing creation. transmissions of electric realization. The deepest reality is always right here, encircled by splendor in the center of the sphere. Meditate where the body thrills to currents of intimate communion. Follow your senses to the end and beyond, into the heart of space. John the Baptist seemed to be a man of such heart, such deep, passionate care. How today can we grow in being uncultivated, untamed, undomesticated, uncontrolled? I invite you to bring your palms together in front of your heart and open your eyes with namaste. Namaste.